Welcome. All right. Welcome to the Vault News Network, the show where we ask questions so you don't have to. That being said, we here at VNN do not endorse any project that we bring on the show, and we always recommend that you do your own research. I'm your host, Joseph Yell, and I'm here with co-host Alandria. And today we are here to share Ragnarok, powered by Masterbrews on the Ethereum blockchain. Let's jump in here. Let me share. All right. So let's do some introductions to the team. Would you guys mind jumping in here? We got Varus or Penguin?
Absolutely, various. So I'm one of the two co-founders of Masterbrews. And first, thank you for having us on the show, both you and Alandrea. And welcome, hi to all the Vault people watching. So yeah, Masterbrews started a little over a year ago now. We've been in the space for about a year and a month. And we started as a tech services provider for the most part. That is still our specialty, but we've pivoted to kind of take over a few projects and kind of create some flagships. And then Ragnarok is our first fully launched, fully owned, individual effort as a company where there's no client, there's no one we're working with on it other than ourselves. And by far, it is technically the most ambitious project to date. It also is rather interesting to see in the current meta of the space what it's going to do. I'll let our other team members that are on give a quick intro, and then we'll kick things off with a bang and just drop you right into a video trailer that'll get you excited.
Excellent. Penguin?
Yeah, awesome. My name is Penguin, also known as Jason. I am one of the community managers for Masterbrews and Ragnarok. So you'll see me kicking around the Discord and the Twitch and various other things, running games. I have been with Masterbrews for, I want to say, 7 or 8 months now. And I first started with Masterbrews as a consumer, a client, back when they first launched May of last year. So I've been in there for quite some time, and I've been in the NFT space since March of last year, so a lifetime.
Excellent. Pleasure to meet you. And JP?
Happy to be here. I as well am one of the Masterbrews community managers. And my name is Medina. You see me on Discord, on socials as JPMM21. And also I've been in the space for a little bit over a year and discovered Masterbrews by one of their flagship projects, WELPS, and joined them as part of the team early this year.
Excellent. Well, it's a pleasure to have all of you on the show here. I know we've got an awesome video that you guys have made. Just kind of do a quick intro of the project. Let's jump to that real quick here. Take a look.
Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. It has been foretold that upon this day, man and god alike will find themselves besieged by giants and demons from all points of the compass in battle, facing death like heroes. Where shall your allegiance lie? Choose your place among the ranks of Odin, the All-Father, Thor, god of thunder, Fenrir, the Devourer, Ymir, the Firstborn, Surtur, lord of Muspelheim, Jormungandr, the Midgard Serpent, Loki, the Trickster, Bel, goddess of death. Choose wisely, or choose them all. To the winner goes the spoils, and oh, what spoils we have in store for you. Introducing Ragnarok, powered by Masterbrews. Mint your warriors and enter a unique on-chain battle tournament, pitting your metagame strategies against other players for incredible rewards and prizes. With only 512 warriors available per faction, act swiftly and choose wisely. Want to improve your chances by serving multiple masters? You can. What will you risk to win it all when Ragnarok is upon us? The more your warriors win, the more bounties they collect. Find out more today on our website.
Excellent, excellent. That's a phenomenal video. All right, let's bring the whole team on here and let's have some fun. So, um, first of all, let's start with your community. How did you guys meet? Like, tell me a little bit about Masterbrews.
So actually, Adam, who's my other co-founder, Tilting Shock, as some of you may know him, he would have loved to be on this, but a family thing came up. But we've known each other for a good, I want to say, 12 years, and we've worked together at 3 separate companies at 3 different times. Where either after the first one, I brought him in when the time was right and there was a good position, or he brought me in to one of the other companies. So yeah, we've been really good friends for a long time, over a decade. And finally, once we discovered the NFT space and we realized, hey, we can make a real go of this. We can do it on our own. We don't need a ton of cash. We don't need investors. That was kind of the thing always holding us back, like from wanting to do our own company. So once we saw the space was right and the fit was right, we were both working at a mobile gaming company. I was the CTO, Adam was the COO. I quit first. I had a lot, I'm a little more impulsive and a little more risk-taking, whereas Adam does have a family and more responsibilities. But, it didn't take long for him to, be convinced to jump ship and come along with me. And yeah, we can't be happier. We've never looked back. And we are Masterbrews now.
Excellent. Penguin, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I stumbled across Masterbrews in, as I said earlier, I think May of last year, maybe the end of April. They did some Brave browser advertising, which worked for me, and I started.
You're the only one.
Yeah. I started sort of cultivating a relationship with Keith Various. I think that's fair to say. We stayed in touch. I minted one of their NFTs, and I have a long background working in tech support and customer service. And around September of last year, I kind of floated the idea to Keith and Adam that, hey, maybe I can help you out with some customer service, with some community management, kind of use me for what you need me to do. And luckily enough, they agreed. So I came aboard.
Yeah, no regrets as of yet. And I will say, Jason impressed us by the fact, out of everyone we spoke to in the space at that time, he's the only one that sent us a professional resume, which we didn't really need, but we did, find it as a sign of his professionalism. And it turned out that was the case. So
Yeah, that's definitely fun, especially in this space, right? Like whenever you get a resume, it's a little awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can say no one else has ever sent us a resume in this space.
JP, what about you?
Well, my case was a little bit different. I don't have any background on tech or Web 2 or Web 3. I am actually a doctor, and I discovered crypto like 4 years ago, something like that. I started doing some day trading, playing a bit, and found out about NFTs late 2020, and then stumbled into the Masterbrews work with Whelps, one of the projects I minted. I was member of the community, and early this year they were looking for a community manager, and these guys are working hard. I like what they're doing. I want to be part of this, and well, here I am.
Excellent.
And we also don't regret JP.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah.
You're gonna find out on here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we have some news for you.
Oh my god.
Awesome. Well, it's we're glad to have you on the show here, guys. We're excited to hear more about Ragnarok. Your team is clearly qualified and capable of building projects. How much? What project number is this?
If we include clients, a lot of which didn't do great last year, like at the end of the year, I want to say this is probably number 18, number 20. But as far as actual projects where we go the full mile and put in A to Z effort and not just provide like a smart contract and website and whatnot, I would say this is probably our fourth if we count Masterbrews itself. So we want to say we have Masterbrews, Whelps, Mark McKenna's Heroes and Villains, and now Ragnarok. As well as I would consider, 2 or 3 of our partners that we work closely with, Coin Games, basically White Rabbit, the Gate Network, and Crypto Whale Club. I would consider them on that same kind of tier, but those are still for clients, whereas these are all in-house, the ones I mentioned.
Awesome. So obviously a very qualified team we have before us, and I mean you guys have been around the space for quite a while. And geez, that's a lot of projects. So let's dive into Ragnarok a little bit. So
Yeah. So
what is
the idea for sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please. No, go ahead.
I was going to say the idea actually came up as a totally different project when we first thought about it. And all we really knew was we were moving to Solana to do our first project there, which was Heroes and Villains. And this was kind of towards the tail end of the Solana summer last year. So, everything was heating up. It looked like it had a very, very strong future. And one of our Masterbrews artists from Kenya, his name is Rarity Tier, he really wanted to do a project with us. We really wanted to do a project with him. He had done guest spots on Whelps. He had done things for Masterbrews. So we worked out that we both actually loved Norse mythology. And, he thought his style would be a very unique take on it, which it is. Even the characters you saw in that video, you might notice they're not exactly the traditional looks for some of them. So yeah, it's a project that was originally going to be called Solhalla, and once we saw the the Solana chain, it had a few bumps. It still had some maturing to do. We thought about, well, let's go back to Ethereum, but then we thought we can't just do like a typical drop, and that's not something we wanted to do anyways. But a lot of the utility we wanted to do with Solhalla on Solana, because it would be very, very cheap, we came back to the problem of gas, which is, still, it's much better now on Ethereum, but it's still a problem and still a hurdle. So we really thought about how can we morph this project into something where people are not paying gas for the utility of it. Sure, they'll pay a little bit of gas at minting, which we're quite efficient at, reducing. And then they'll pay, if there's a token involved, sure, they'll pay to claim the token, trade it. But everything else, we wanted it to be on-chain, yet gasless, which is a conflict, obviously. So that was kind of our challenge to ourselves and our tech team. And that's how this whole on-chain tournament came up, where we basically solved the problem through the fact of having rounds where we trigger things, we pay the gas, and people don't have to, and people don't have to make many decisions. They have a few decisions, but those get rolled up and batch committed by us, every round. So it is something where there's full transparency. Everything is on chain. We can do a lot of mechanics, a lot of functionality, but people don't have to worry about paying for it. So
yeah, and that's huge, especially when you're building a game like this, right? So
yeah, it's also very difficult, I can mention. We're very lucky to have our lead smart dev be practically a genius. He comes from he's actually a professor in a university in Romania, and he dabbles in some very, very advanced things. So it's something that we love because he gets to be challenged and motivated. It wouldn't be motivating to give him your standard PFP drop, and it wouldn't be motivating to us as Masterbrews. So it's definitely something that on all ends just meets all our needs. And it remains to be seen how the public and the current market takes it, which is always a difficult thing. We know what's selling right now. We know how it's selling. This is none of that. So will it sell? We don't know. We're confident. Just like we were with Whelps, last year, we did things very outside of the meta. We had evolution no one had. We had the fact that you can have duplicates. We had the fact that the art was definitely not the PFP style at the time, and it worked out for us. So we're tapping into that well again of, can innovation outdo some of these other aspects?
So let's talk about you know why you decided to go down this road, right, of building a game. Like, what does that mean to you guys as far as Masterbrews, right? What's the
Yeah,
importance
so
of that?
we're pretty deep in 2 games already, and we really believe, play to earn and play to win, and this type of technology with the smart contracts and blockchain is going to be the future of every video game at some point. And they won't be called play to earn, like people, a lot of people have said this, and I agree with them fully. They'll just be called a video game. What it leverages, it's just going to be a standard completely, and you won't even notice it. But until we get there, the problem with the play to earn games, for the most part, is they're a bit of utility wrapped in like kind of a game shell. And this is not all of them, but I would say more often than not, they're more of a chore than a game. So we really wanted to get into the game space and build a video game first, and then leverage the blockchain and leverage, tokenomics and such. And that's what we're doing with Whelps and Heroes and Villains. But those are, while they're using the blockchain, they're not an on-chain game. They're actually video games that use the blockchain. So Ragnarök is the opposite. Ragnarök is fully on-chain, and this was really, testing the boundaries of what can we do and what can we get away with. And there's some extensive things, with, I won't get too technical for your audience, but we're using low-level memory allocation and bitmaps and a lot of things that, well, the code is all transparent. We've had tech people review it already, and they're like, I don't understand a thing in here. So it's really testing, how we can save gas. To give you an example, when we wanted to trigger the first round with our first attempt, it was going to cost us about $20,000 US to run the round of matchups and determine results and use the modifiers. That's obviously not something we were going to do. And we were able to get that down, by about 20x. So we're still optimizing it since we still have time till our mint date. And yeah, that just shows, the things that our team is coming up with to do this, I think are going to be really useful and valuable in the future, both to us and other people. So.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, especially when you've got the experience of a team such as yourselves, right? Like you guys can take those previous learnings. That's that's quite a bit of learning, especially in this space. We're also new, right? Every single person in this space.
Well, I can say, even as an experienced dev myself, when I had to review it, I certainly had a lot of questions about some parts, because it was like reading, intense mathematical formulas for some of it.
Well, so who's the lead dev on that?
So his name is Alin, and yeah, like I said, he's based in Romania. He's, he teaches at the university, and yeah, we're lucky to have him. He's been with us almost since day one, and he's our core lead dev. So.
Well, Alin, thank you so much for leading the space. I know you when you're watching the recording.
I know he's coding right now because I just spoke to him, so he's definitely maybe listening in the background. But definitely his work cut out for him.
What was that, Penguin?
I see he shows up sometimes. I notice him chiming in on the Discord every now and then. Must be taking a break.
That's awesome. Yeah, awesome. So let's jump into a little bit about the game itself, right? So would you mind kind of explaining the game dynamics? Like let's start at the top and work our way down.
Yeah, so we wanted it to be basically a bracketed tournament. So it's a single elimination tournament. And that's why the number is 4,096. It's easily divisible by 2. And as you keep dividing by 2, you'll ultimately get to one winner. So in essence, there's 12 rounds. Once you mint your warrior from whatever faction you pick, that's, you're automatically entering the battle. You can't exit the battle. You can be defeated. That's the only way out in a body bag. And you will, you'll basically earn tokens right from the get-go. So if you win round 1, you're going to earn our token, which is going to be a public token. There will be liquidity locked initially. As a team, we're doing $200,000 as the initial liquidity. And then obviously people are free to add to it as any other token. So there's no real way to speculate what value it's going to have, but we're at least giving it a nice kickstart, and we feel that'll give people the sense that even if they win the first round and want to cash out something, there is liquidity, there is value there for them to do so, which is something that was missing in quite a few projects where you're kind of locked in for a little bit until you can cash out. And by that time, some of them lose momentum and lose hype. And then what was worth, quite a bit at the beginning, by the time you actually get it is pretty worthless. So we attempted to solve that problem. And the other aspect of it is, the factions, this is a way to do a different type of mint, kind of get tribalism going in Discord and community, which I'll let Medina and Jason comment more on the community aspect. But as far as the battle, the way it goes is as soon as the mint is done, matchmaking will happen, let's say, within 24 hours. This is not something that's, being built to start much later. It actually will start 24 hours after the mint closes because everything's in the contract and everything's already there on chain. So it's not something people have to hope and wait and see if it gets built. It's something that, no, as soon as the mint closes, like, we're raring to go and things are starting. So after round one, there's going to be the matchmaking. You'll be able to see like a fight card of your matchups. You'll be able to browse other matchups. There's different statistics and different modifiers. We have 3 modifiers for season 1. One is the faction versus faction aspect. You can think of that kind of like a circular rock, paper, scissors. So for example, Fenrir in mythology devours Odin at Ragnarok. So his group gets a little edge in the battle if they're fighting someone from Odin's faction. But Odin is strong against another faction, and it goes, so forth in a circle. So while that's all luck based on who you're matched up with, it still helps people feel like their faction, they hopefully will be attached to a faction. The second modifier is the Rarity Tier. So there's 4 Rarity Tiers, and that's Einherjar, which is legendary. There is the Epic or Rare, which I believe is the Berserker. There is the Uncommon, which is the Thegan, and there's the Common, which is the Dengir. So based on the tier you get, there'll also be modifiers. Like if a legendary warrior is fighting a common warrior, he'll have a pretty decent edge in battle. And that's, again, it's just really up to luck or who, if you want to purchase one on secondary. And the final modifier is something that we actually give players a choice between rounds. So after you see your matchup, you have 48 hours until the actual battle outcome is determined. In that time period, you can choose to basically ask for the blessing of your god. And when you do that, what you do is you're putting your loser's purse at risk. So every round after round 1, every fight, the loser gets 20%, the winner gets 80% and moves on. So let's say, I'm in round 5 and potentially I'm going to get 1,000 tokens if I lose. By risking it, I can kind of pay it as tribute, burn it to my god for their blessing to get a little edge in my upcoming battle. So we're trying to work new mechanics in slowly, one, so we don't overcomplicate it for people, but B, because we have 8 seasons already lined up. Every season is a different theme, is going to introduce a new mechanic, is going to have mini games that associate with it. We're even going to introduce peer-to-peer wagering, where you can bet on someone else's battle against other people, and the House Vig will be burned. That's part of a deflationary tactic as part of our tokenomics. So the battle will go on round by round, every 72 hours here in total, when you add up the matchmaking and the break and the actual determination of the outcome. And once you get down to the final winner, let's say that he gets obviously the biggest prize. And I want to say it's somewhere around the neighborhood of, at least from the value we start with, somewhere around $50,000 to $100,000 US. Now, if people obviously, speculate on the token and add more liquidity and things happen, well, obviously they can win more than that. And there's not really a way for them to earn much less because we're establishing enough liquidity to cover if, majority of people cash out along the way. So I would say worst case, this winner is still going to get like 30 grand US, which is a pretty good return on a 0.075 ETH mint, I would say.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. So how are you doing game balancing? I'm sure at this kind of a scale, that's got to be fun, especially on chain.
Yeah, I mean, everything is really based on the RNG now, other than that decision where Do you want to risk losing your loser payout or not? But everything is balanced where there's no big shift. Like the most extreme case is if you take the blessing, your opponent doesn't, and you're matched up against someone you're strong against and they're weak against your faction, and you're legendary and they're a common, that would be the most extreme case. And we still keep that, I believe, in the 75 to 25 kind of realm. So we don't really want it to be unbalanced. We never want it to become just pay to win where people buy the legendaries and have a massive shot at winning. We want everyone to have fun with it, and it makes sense that, you know, great, you're legendary, you have your God's blessing, but this guy could still catch you off guard and kill you. So it's part of the fun. And the other thing is, once you're defeated, you're not completely out of things. Your NFT is not useless. We're going to have a lot of things to try to give value to those defeated warriors. One of them is going to be the Valhalla Lounge in our Discord, where you'll only have access to it if you have a defeated warrior, and you'll be able to, you know, converse with your fellow defeated warriors. But on top of that, we're going to do daily events in there to give you prizes, rock, maybe some ETH, different, you know, NFT prizes, whitelist spots. So that's something you can still get value out of. And if your faction wins, one thing we haven't mentioned is after Season 8, there's a Night of Champions tournament. The only way into that tournament is by holding a warrior whose faction won one of the seasons 1 through 8. All 512 will be automatically entered in that bracket for the Night of Champions. And every single spot in that tournament is guaranteed a prize based on, you know, I believe it's a 10% cut of all the minting done from season 1 through 8, and all the reincarnation, which is another feature we haven't spoken about yet. But so it's going to be a substantial prize, and the Night of Champions will happen right around the end of a full calendar year, which is how the 8 seasons are spread over. So there's definitely something where we've already planned out an entire calendar year for. It's not something where we're just, you know, flying by the seat of our pants.
So, because you have all of these, you know, all the RNG is all on chain. In theory, are you guys building out like the probability generators for like, you know, get an extra 5% if you make this decision, right, on your step 3, right, the blessing, God's blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Are you providing that in the UI, or theoretically someone else could do that themselves, right?
Well, so for that, yeah, it's going to be in the UI on our website, and people have to make a decision. All the decisions will be collected and then batch committed as soon as we trigger the start of the next round. So everybody will be able to see everyone else's decision before the results get determined. So this way, there's no one who can, you know, say anything's fishy. The other part we didn't mention is we are using Chainlink VRF2 for this. So, you know, unless someone proves that they're exploitable, which to this date hasn't happened, you know, that's about as credible, as trustworthy as you can get when it comes to RNG in contracts.
So, and then what I was going for was the probability of winning the next battle could theoretically be on that page before you go into battle, right?
Yeah, so your fight card will show you, and you can look at anyone's fight card, but if you are looking at yours, you'll see, you know, who you're fighting. Are you strong against them? Are you weak against them? You'll see all the numbers. You'll see your chance, like if your chance is, you know, 40% and their chance is 60. So it'll really be like a fight card from any, you know, boxing match, MMA match, or kind of the tail of the tape, like that style. So that'll all be available on our website for everyone to look at.
Yeah, that's perfect. That means, you know, us simpletons don't have to go do the math.
Yeah, we would not want you to do that.
No, that's excellent. I'm really excited about that. So, what? See, I mean, geez, you've gone over so much so far. Can we dive into Penguin and talk about the community for a minute?
Yeah, I'd love to. So, you know, community is one of the things that Masterbrews really does well, and I would say is the most important thing to Masterbrews. So everything we do is led by that sort of operating guide. So, you know, this is a community that we've built organically through whitelist collaborations, through getting out word of mouth, through you know, just making an interesting product. It's you know, we don't buy community members, we don't pump up our Discord numbers, we don't do anything like that. In fact, early on, we undertook a pruning of Discord members because we felt that the number was a little out of whack with what the reality was going on, and I don't know of many projects that do something like that. So, yeah, community is number one. So we build it organically. We build it in everything we do. We're active in the Discord. We're active on Twitter. We, between myself and Medina and our group of mods, we are playing games quite frequently, giving away whitelist spots, really encouraging and listening to the community. There's a lot of suggestions that have come from the community that either will be incorporated already in season 1 or will be incorporated in future seasons. We've taken their suggestions for the types of games we play, and I'm really proud about something we're doing right now, which is called Faction Wars. And this is leading up to our obviously leading up to the mint, but Faction Wars started today, and for the next week it's going. And basically, we're going to be running 6 official games per day. There may be some other games, sprinkled throughout the day, but 6 official games per day, and you will earn points for your faction. And every day, the top faction, we're going to draw 3 winners, give away some ETH, give away some whitelist spots. And then, of course, at the end of the week, at the end of Faction Wars, we're going to give away more ETH, and we're going to give away free Ragnarok mints, and we're going to give away mints from some of our other projects and whitelist. So, I think that, yeah, community is everything. Without that, we're not going to be successful. You guys are doing a great job building community on your end as well. I know that's something that guides you. What is a peer-reviewed NFT platform if not community-based, right? So, I mean, I'm just going to start repeating myself now. Community. But that's basically we continue to build our community. We continue to take those suggestions. We continue to learn and grow. And sometimes we get things wrong. I don't have an example, but sometimes we get things wrong. And when we do, we make amends, and we talk to the community. And how can we make this right? And how can we make it better? And what suggestions do you have? And how can we make this a place that you want to hang out? And it's not just a place where, I've got to spend 0.075 ETH. No, I want to spend 0.075 ETH or more because I really like this community.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's excellent. So, JP, can I ask you about Runestones and how they work, what they are?
Sure. So one of the most interesting things for me working in the Ragnarok and this phase pre-mint is the way we handle whitelist spots. So we're doing it a little bit different, and as I said, one of my favorite things. Instead of getting people's addresses and putting them into the smart contract, we are actually sending these whitelisted people Runestones. These are really cool, like the one on various background. So that this way the contract works a lot better because it doesn't have to check, 6,000 whitelist addresses, something like that. It only checks if you're holding this token. This is actually an NFT and ERC 1155 standard, which can obviously be traded, transfer, or whatever you want. You can go on OpenSea and sell yours if you have it. Not that we want you to sell, but always an option. And of course, if you, let's say, you don't have time to grind or something like that, you can just go into OpenSea and buy one.
Awesome.
Yeah. I will just add quickly, if people see the background behind my head, this is one of the Runestones in question. This is Odin's whitelist spot. So yeah, people were amazed that it's just a whitelist spot, but they're actually getting a really high quality art NFT. Even though it's going to be burned later, it's still it's a little detail that draws extra attention, and actually has had people get more excited about the project because of that attention to detail. So yeah, well, we could have just asked people for addresses, put them on a Google Sheet like a lot of people do. I think this was a much better way. It is cheaper for both the minters and the team as well from a contract perspective, and it does allow them to know they have the whitelist spot. They don't have to ask. They don't have to wonder. They can obviously see the NFT in their wallet or on OpenSea. And like Penguin, like JP was saying, you can trade it. Like, let's say I want a whitelist spot for Thor, but I don't really like Thor. Well, maybe I can sell it. I can buy one for someone I do like. I can acquire one for someone else. You're not limited to having one whitelist spot. You're allowed to win from us or earn from us one per faction. So it's kind of something different. And, we think more people will start adopting this model, particularly because it is cheaper than your standard ways. But yeah, we want to have fun with it. And it's just another detail that we went with.
And I'll just add very quickly to that, that has become one of the community building aspects. How many whitelist runestones do you have? Oh, I've got 5. Well, I've got all 8. Okay, well, maybe give me a shot or give me a turn. Well, I don't know. So, it's been really fun. And, everybody in the community is really friendly, but there's a good amount of friendly, rivalry that goes on. And this faction wars is already starting to show people, Fenrir's the best. No, Odin's the best. No, Loki. So, I say get them all.
Absolutely. And is there any secret hidden prize for collecting them all? It's like Pokemon.
There's something similar to that. Would you like to reveal it, Jason, since you're on the big screen?
Since I'm on the big screen. I mean, there is you're talking about the package, right?
I'm talking about the package, yes.
The package, yeah. So for our really motivated community members who do want to ensure that they can get all 8 mints, we're going to have a really limited selection of something called the Heimdall package. And Heimdall, of course, in Norse mythology, is a pretty big deal. And basically, by getting on the Heimdall whitelist, of which there are very limited spaces, that's going to allow you to mint all 8. A few lucky people will even receive the Heimdall free mint runestone, which will give them all 8 either for free or they've prepaid for that. So, we want to give you these opportunities, right? It's fun to grind to a certain extent, and it certainly builds the community, but if you really, really, really are motivated and you really want all 8, we'll figure out a way to make that happen for you.
Yeah. So just to add to the Heimdall, you actually get Heimdall, his NFT of amazing art of him. And what that does is if you're holding it come season 2, you get a guaranteed free mint of season 2 as a bonus. And that's kind of our bonus to you for investing that much to actually purchase 8 of our mints. And the other thing is they'll be airdropped to you, so you don't have to pay gas to mint 8 of them. The team will cover that at no extra cost. Like, it's the regular minting cost.
Awesome. I do have to ask, which character? So which character do you go for, Penguin? Like, or which god, right?
Well, so officially I'm neutral, of course, but I didn't know a lot about Norse mythology coming into this. I've done quite a bit of research on my own now, just so I can be caught up and kind of sound knowledgeable. Maybe not be knowledgeable, but sound knowledgeable at the very least. Jormungandr is the answer to your question, the world serpent. I don't know why. Maybe it's because when we initially had people choose factions in the Discord, he was lagging a little bit, and I like an underdog. But yeah, I'm a Jormungandr guy.
Yeah.
Various, well, same question, man.
I gotta go with Fenrir because I'm a dog lover, so he is the wolf god.
And JP, I know you just had a power outage, but so jumping back into it, who's your favorite?
I gotta say Loki. I love that guy. Yes, so mischievous and even not related to us, but I love the character on the Marvel series.
Awesome.
So I'm Team Loki.
Yeah.
We have a question in our server, and someone is asking, where do I go to find more information and get and everything about the project, and to sign up for it?
Well,
Yeah.
the ideal place is our Discord. That's discord.gg/Ragnarok NFT. But you can also check our website. It's rrock.game, where you can see everything: the trailer, the factions, how's everything going to work.
We
And you
also
can
have
find
the
those
price.
links on our vault listing also.
Yeah, the price
Yeah.
structure is also up on there, so that's pretty important to some people.
So here I'll stream really quickly here, so people can see. You know, if you're in the vault, you can always search for Ragnarok. You can take a look. You can go right to their website, and you guys have a phenomenal site. You guys always do great work with your sites. Let's see. And so from here, yeah, you're how to play and all that jazz. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. So I do have a few more questions here that I want to jump into. Let's talk on the legal side for just a moment. And has anyone asked, like, obviously this is on chain and it's like basically it's pure RNG. So like, does that constitute as gambling?
So it doesn't, because one of the options is where they have a choice. That is considered strategy. But that aside, one of the benefits of Masterbrews, and something that not a lot of people in the space have the same advantage right now, is when we chose where to incorporate. This was not something we picked, overnight. We definitely went through legal teams. We looked into things. We're governed by the Isle of Man. So that allows us leeway and freeway, especially with something with a token, more so than the gambling. The gambling is rather easy to get around, especially it is legal in the Isle of Man, and they issue licenses and whatnot. But as far as the security token, that's kind of the hot topic in a lot of NFT projects these days, and that we're free and clear, because not only can we show that there's a lot of utility around the token, so it's kind of in that gray area, like deep in the gray area. We have a legal opinion from the Isle of Man, so I don't think we'll have any issues. I'm not a lawyer myself, but we've certainly spoken to two over there, and yeah, the opinions we got is that we're well protected, we're in a great spot, and if things change, we'll adjust, we'll re-examine. But for the moment, definitely no one has to worry about participating in Ragnarok. They will not have the Secret Service show up at the door if you're American. So yeah, it's something where we feel we've done our due diligence. That's a lot more on my co-founder's side, Adam, who's not here, but I can speak confidently that we know, and we're not expecting to ever have any issues for it.
Well, at least if they do show up, it won't be for Ragnarok.
Yeah.
they may still show up. I mean, we're all in Web3.
And it won't be the first time.
Awesome. So I think some of the last questions that we want to jump into before we kind of wrap things up here is really getting into the art and the meaning of the art. Obviously, there's rich lore with what you guys are building here in Ragnarok. So I know you've got a few quotes from your artist that you want to share, or like why
Jason,
the art was
you have
built.
those?
Well, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to get those quotes, but I did have an opportunity to talk to him, to our artist in Kenya, Riot Gear, as we talked about. He's a really big fan of the art. He's a really big fan of the space, and he wanted to do something really unique. And so when this opportunity came in front of him, he really wanted to show off his skills. And one of the things he's talked about is how this style of art was kind of unique to him a little bit, or unique, not unique to him, but it was new for him. He had previously done a lot of more 3D stuff, and so to draw this style of art was something that he really took to heart and really experimented with. And if you can go into that Discord, Ragnarok NFT, and see some of those sneak peeks and everything, and see all the work that he put into it. We had an opportunity to do a drawing event with him. So he came onto our Twitch stream and actually drew out a art piece for one of our community members. And he was able to talk about, getting into NFT and how the art is really important to him. and he was able to actually show us his process where he takes a model, somebody who's posed for a picture, and he uses that as a base, but it ends up looking nothing like that model. I mean, if anybody has seen images of Hell, one of Hell's warriors, which in some cases has 3 or 4 very frightening faces, kind of keeps me up at night. He took just a regular looking guy and created this monster out of him, and so he really takes a lot of pride in his work, and he's happy to see this come to fruition.
Yeah, I do just want to mention and give a shout out to an artist named VViz, that's V.Viz, from Cambodia, because he's actually the one, though, that did the Runestones for the whitelist. While Raigeir was busy with all the other art and a few things of his own. So we actually have 2 artists on this particular project, and I do believe that unless plans change, you'll be seeing more of Viz in season 3 when we jump into maybe some Greek mythology.
Ooh, all right.
Little teaser there. I can hear Adam saying, "Stop giving leaks."
My co-founder doesn't like when I reveal information.
He's not here.
This is the point of an AMA. So, all right, cool. And then, do you want to take a second to talk about like what kind of traits you guys got lined up or rarities? I know we kind of went briefly into the tier structures, but is there anything else like you guys care to share?
Yeah.
Before they do that, we just want to remind our citizens to react in the AMA chat thread in the server. We make it post. It's pinned.
So I will mention that I think each faction it's somewhere between 7 and 8 traits, depending on what they are, because some traits are more involved than others. But the rarity tier has nothing to do with the traits, other than 2 of the traits are very subtle ties to the rarity, and they are not random. So if you get a legendary, you're always going to have, for example, a golden belt, and you're always going to have blue glowing eyes. Now, if you're a tier down in rarity, the glow in the eyes is a lot more subtle, like as if it was just beginning. And as you go down, you have normal eyes if you're a common. So those are kind of visual indicators to your rarity tier. I think the belts are leather, bronze, steel, and then gold. So those ones are set based on your rarity tier. Everything else is random, so everyone is unique. And they can really differ. I'm not sure if we can show any of the warriors here from the sneak peek channel quickly, but they definitely, look very, very unique. The Hell one mentioned, has multiple faces on them. Odin, some of them have one of his ravens, some have both, some have, the white raven, Munin. I know that Jorgen Mander, or did I say him right?
Better than I did.
He has reptilian warriors who, for example, spit acid, and the way the acid looks and comes out is one of the traits. So there's body scarring, there is, ruined tattoos that were based on research into what those tattoos would have actually looked like back in the day. So everything is trying to be as accurate to the lore as it can. There's some of Hell's minions, for example.
That's what keeps me up.
Those scared me as the first time.
And then, if you just scroll through, you'll probably notice there's Heimdall. We have a very different take on Heimdall. So you can see the rainbow aspect of the Bifrost. You can see his horn to alert when danger is invading. And you can see his eye. So
that is pretty fire. Love it. I'll tell you, like I love this art personally. But I mean, you guys do great work all around.
Yeah. And then here's one of Ymir's warriors, for example. So you can see how he has, short broken horns. He has a spear. These are some of the tattoos and the body effects. He has looks like a leather belt, so he'd be a common. And you can notice his eyes have nothing special going on because he's common. Probably why he got his horns torn off. but if you look, at this warrior, here you can see the gold belt. You can see the glowing blue eyes. So this guy would actually be a legendary pull. He's someone you definitely want to try to mint. It is all random, but if you get him, well, you're definitely a step above in the tournament. So,
And do you have any one of ones or anything along those lines that are
so
coming
one
or
thing
in the
about
roadmap?
the term, right? So all of them are one of one, meaning no two are exactly identical. But as far as people use the term one of one, we do have the actual gods, so the actual faction ones that when we showed the video at the beginning, you saw them kind of flash by when it was naming all the factions. Those are actual NFTs themselves, and someone who mints in their faction. So out of the 512 that mint, let's say Loki, someone in that 512 will receive their regular warrior plus Loki. And the purpose of holding those gods, it won't affect your battle outcomes, but everyone who pays the tribute and loses to their god for the blessing, half of that will be burnt, but half of it will go to the holder of the god themselves.
Wow.
So you can basically make a lot of rock if you happen to be lucky enough to hit one, or if someone decides they want to sell theirs. Yeah, you can be your warrior can die in the first round, but you can keep on collecting that tribute all the way through. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, we wanted originally they were just a bonus NFT, but we felt like there was a way to give them utility, and we a light bulb went on that since there's a blessing of the gods, well then they should get some of that tribute.
Yep. Awesome. So is there I'm gonna do a call out really quick. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat, in either Discord or YouTube, wherever you're watching, or Twitch. If you got any questions for the team, we got just a few minutes left, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Elandria, do you want to say anything here?
I wanted to know, so both of the other projects have passes. So there's a hero pass or something for heroes and villains, and Whelps is dragon pass. Is there some kind of pass system planned for this project? And also, what are the benefits if you have one of those passes for this project?
So we thought about making the kind of the Heimdall package a different way, and making that a Bifrost pass. And we realized that it wouldn't work well thematically, first of all, because each season is going to change theme. So if you had, Heimdall Pass giving you perks in season 3, which is Greek mythology, it just wouldn't make any sense. Now we could have done a generic Ragnarök Pass, and maybe we will. Maybe if this goes really well the way we want it to, and there's a demand for it, we will. But right now we didn't put it in as part of the plans because we just didn't see where we could give it enough value. And we didn't want to complicate things and give something else for people to mint and pay for. We really want to focus on getting season 1 off the ground, and then we'll expand season to season the rest of the way. So,
and then the other thing I'd like to know is, how will these NFTs retain their value when the utility is done after season 1 is over, or is there more utility for them?
So that's something that's going to be a work in progress, meaning there will be things we have in mind. We haven't set our mind to them. A lot of it's going to be based on the outcome as well as season 1 and what we have to adapt. But for example, there will be staking, with APY, with different pools, different lockup periods for the token itself. Now, maybe if you're holding one of these warriors, you get an incentive or a bonus on that staking. That could be an example of one thing. Another thing could be airdrops, right? Everyone loves airdrops. And there could be, chances by holding a defeated warrior in the Valhalla Lounge, you'll always be able to participate in these daily things where maybe you're going to be able to win free mints or win rock or win other things. I'm sure they'll tie into merch. If we ever, if things go really well and we do partnerships where your character can be used in whether they're games or metaverses or whatnot, they'll have value then, of course. So there's a lot of things that are on the potential idea list, but we don't want to we are people that never guarantee something we're not planning on doing 100%. So we don't want to build things up too much. We want to keep it simple. We want to really, people are buying in for the experience, for the chance to win. And I would say anything else that happens with their warrior, we will give it values, but those are kind of a bonus. Meaning, like, if I go play at the casino or buy a lottery ticket or something, if I lose, I'm not expecting my losing ticket to hold value, right? So right. It's kind of blurring the lines between both. We love giving value to everyone who helps us, especially at the beginning. But at the same time, people have to realize what type of a project it is, and it is a contest, and it is a game, and it is that type of event. So
let's make sure everybody knows how they can win whitelist. Joe, can you show them the vault again, the vault listing? So everybody, both whether you're watching because you're already a member of City Roots or you're not, you can go to the vault page, and if you have a profile created, if you're not sure how to do that, jump in the City Roots Discord and we'll walk you through it, or check in our YouTube channel. There's tutorials on how to do that. And you're going to go to the create a listing, or to look at their reviews. And when you do the reviews, you can click create a review. As long as you're logged in on your profile, you're going to review the projects, and you're going to leave at least a 250 character comment. And we will draw from those comments. When are we going to close that? When do you guys need an answer, Masterbrews?
So basically right now, whitelist spots are, getting gobbled up by the day, but it also depends on the faction, meaning if, I believe Thor is the closest, he might be closed up by Monday at the rate that he's at. Whereas someone like maybe Ymir doesn't get as much love. He has a little more available to him. So it's something where if you really want your pick of the factions for your whitelist ruin, you better do it quick. The longer you wait, the less chance that the guy you want is available.
Let's also ask you guys, show us you watch this and know what you're doing, and tell us which faction you want to be in your rating, your review. What's your favorite faction? If you've already left one, you can go back and click edit, and you can change or update your comment that way.
Yep. And keep in mind, guys, when you are leaving reviews, we do want reviews that are quality, well-written reviews. Please do not just say good project, right? Like give it some real substance. And you just heard an hour-long AMA about the project, right? Give it your thoughts, give some feedback, give some real substance to what you're hoping to get out of the project, and why you're interested or why you're not. I'm sure the project team and everyone else in the Web3 community will thank you.
I agree. We, as long as it's valid criticism, we love to hear it, because that's the way we find which areas we need to improve on. So, we will read all the reviews, and definitely the team will digest them, and hopefully many suggestions and improvements come from them.
And that's the goal. All right. Anything else that you guys would like to say in our last minute?
We had a few things, but I don't think they'll fit in a minute. So there was a few more mechanics, but if you guys want to find out about them, I guess Discord will be the best place. You can, ask us there, listen to the AMAs that we do have recorded there, including this one will be there. So from my end, I want to thank you guys for hosting this. With this type of project, we can't underlie how important AMAs are, because there's so much information to give to people, and it really helps them understand how things are. I will quickly say, no, Angus, there will be no bazookas in season 1. And yeah, looks like
so that's season 5, right?
There might be a cyberpunk or futuristic dystopian season, so maybe there'll be a cyber bazooka at that point. But
all right.
Join the Discord, join Faction Wars. That's all I have to say. Win yourself some ETH.
Excellent. Well, everyone, you just heard from Masterbrews on their newest project, Ragnarök. Thank you guys all for being here. I'm so thankful that you guys had the opportunity to come and join us today. And can I get a launch date really quick, and then the mint price?
Yeah. So the mint price is 0.075 ETH. It doesn't matter if you mint in the whitelist period or the next day in the public, if there's any left for public. Now, important to note, we're not over allocating the whitelist. So we don't think that's a fair thing. We know a lot of people do it. We don't like it. We wouldn't like it if we were the community people earning them. So to me, that shows lack of faith in your project. I'll leave it at that. But we are not over allocating. So
it's like whitelist 1 spot, 1 mint?
Yeah. So we're giving out exactly the number we have. And if some people choose not to use it, not to mint, that's what will go into public. But if you have a waitlist ruin, you're guaranteed the opportunity to mint it. So that's on May 4th. And then the public sale, should there be quantity left, is on May 5th.
Excellent. So set your calendars, everyone, and thank you, and have a great day from Vault News Network. Cheers.
Happy Friday or Saturday.